Welcome to CNC Underground After Hours, the podcast for people who live somewhere between G code, production deadlines, and learning the night shift is basically survival mode. I'm Jessica, and today I'm joined by Chris Karnitz, the continuous improvement engineer at Cast Precision. Chris has spent 2 decades in manufacturing, working his way up from forklift driver to foreman to engineering, all without a college degree, but grit, curiosity, and a whole lot of hands-on learning. Along the way, he's gained a passion for tooling, toolpath optimization, work holding, new equipment, and shop culture. Chris, welcome to the Underground.
Hey, it's good to be here.
Good, thank you. You started out as a forklift driver in a 10-man shop. Be honest, do you still get twitchy when you see a pallet jack in the corner?
Actually, before I was the forklift driver, they actually started me out just on the bandsaw, and anytime I needed material on the saw, I had to go get somebody to load it with the forklift until they trusted me to get onto it. But yes, I don't like pallet jacks around, no. I'd rather use a forklift if possible.
What was it like starting out in such a small shop?
I mean, it was intimidating at first for me just because it was my first real life job outside of just my gas station jobs I had through high school and whatnot. But it was probably more beneficial than I realized at the moment, as it was easier to approach people in there, and it was more of a family closeness to it, a feel to it. So it was a little easier to approach some of the guys on the floor.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to put it. Starting out in a small shop, probably you get hands-on in different environments that you wouldn't get in a larger shop, making you
Absolutely.
a little more balanced.
Yeah, everything was all under one roof in one kind of smaller space. So, I mean, from mills to lathes to our bandsaw, it was all real close. So I was able to see everything going on, and it was easier to approach people in the different departments.
Any specific things you learned in those earlier days that affect how you approach manufacturing now?
Actually, a lot from that first shop. I didn't have the realization until further into my career, well further into my career, but just the fact that the guys that I went and asked questions to at the machines took the time to, answer them. And that's kind of where I got everything started, was just talking to those guys at the machines, and they would give me little tidbits here and there of what they're doing and what the machine's doing, and the curiosity just kind of grew from there, and they allowed me to learn more and more.
I think that's a good point too, because I talk a lot about tribal knowledge, and there has to be ways to document that, right? And if we can't document it all, then the best way to do that is conversation.
Absolutely. And that's something that we've been going through at my current place of work right now, is trying to get all that tribal knowledge onto a document somewhere. So when these guys do end up retiring, we can keep moving on without a hiccup.
Yeah, I hear that. You've done the night shift. Any survival stories from that era?
None that I probably blocked them all out. It was, I mean, it was definitely a good learning experience, because you always get the stories of day shift blames the night shift and night shift blames the day shift. So I got to be on both sides of that little story. So the night shift, for all the people that work on day shift, they do bust their butts, and they're trying their hardest. They don't always get as much guidance and supervision around them as the day shift guys get. So sometimes you got to cut them guys a little bit of slack.
What do you think? I'm curious. I've never worked the night shift really in anything. What's more productive, the day shift or the night shift? Or is that controversial?
I believe that's going to be controversial. In my eyes, I feel like the day shift really needs to set the night shift up to be productive. And that's just coming from the environments that I've been in, where we're much stronger skill set wise and everything on our day shift than we are on the night shift. So we try to support them as best we can.
Yeah, that makes sense, right? Because people usually want the day shift, I would assume.
I feel like it takes a different kind of head to do the night shift. I mean, I'm glad there's guys out there that do it, because we need it. I did it for about a year, and it's not for me. I can tell you that. I went through it as my wife was pregnant too. So she was itching for me to, right after we had our second, then she wanted me off the night shift.
Yeah, I remember it too. My fiance would work the night shift. It was like 10 years ago now, but he would work it. And I was teaching at the time. So I would be going to work as he was coming home, high five in the hallway. And he goes to bed and I go to work. Oh, it was rough. I mean,
Yeah, it's not easy, that's for sure.
yeah. So you've said problem solving is what kept you going and growing. What is one challenge you're proud of solving?
I guess this definitely was a challenge for me at the time and where I was at in my career, because this is still back at that 10-man shop when I worked there. And the only programmer we had there ended up putting in his notice and leaving, and there wasn't anybody there really to step up. And I had already been there for probably 2 years, 3 years, and I was pretty efficient at setting up machines and everything at that point and getting an understanding of reading the G code and all that. So then I had my opportunity to jump in and raise my hand and say, I'll try the CAD software and program and everything. And the first parts I cut my teeth on were, they're not around anymore. They were Viper motorcycle out of Big Lake. They were trying to be competitors of Harley Davidson, from my understanding. So if some of the first parts I got to play with on the CAD were large inner and outer primary covers and
Cool.
pedals and things like that for this motorcycle. And I mean, you're talking about 4 or 5 page prints, like lots of dimensions, like programs that are running off the laptop on the machine because they're running for hours. Like that was way out of the realm of what I was really knowing what I was doing. But I probably gained way more knowledge and experience than I even realized at the time. But I was able to work my way through and get good parts out for the company, and I was pretty proud of that one. I wish I could have taken a part or two home, but those ones are a little too expensive.
Is that how you transitioned from machining into the programming side of it?
Yep, for the most part. And that kind of actually started getting me to, I was never a foreman per se there, but I was kind of a supervisor role. Everybody was actually coming to me anyway, whether I was their boss or not. They would come to me just based off, I was approachable. I would share any chance I get what I'm doing. I don't try to hide information. Like the more other people know, the faster we can move as a shop.
Mm-hmm. I agree. You've been at Cass as long as I've known you. How long have you been there?
15 years. It'll be 16 years next May.
So how did you work your way up to continuous improvement engineer, and what does that mean?
We'll start out with how did I get there, I guess. So when I transitioned from the 10-man shop to Cast Precision, it was Cast Screw Machine at the time. That's when I had to come in on the night shift. That was my way of getting my foot in the door. So I actually had to take a couple steps back from programming and all of that stuff to, I was more of just an operator on the night shift for a while. And then they allowed me to make edits and stuff at the controls. So I was able to optimize programs along the way. And I feel like as they saw that happening and I showed more of my worth and everything and value, that's how I made my way to the day shift. And then the leadership was great. They gave me the opportunities to show my experience and what I can bring to the table. And so I just slowly kept moving up from operator here to a setup guy here. Then they started bringing in Swiss machines because they realized, hey, we can probably get into this area of work now. And so I started programming those. And then not too long ago, probably about 3 years ago or so, they started an engineering department here at Cass. And I think they label it continuous improvement engineer because we don't want to pin people to just, okay, this is what you're going to be doing. Now I cover pretty much all of it still. I feel like my job titles haven't changed much from when I was an operator, because I still run machines every now and again. I still set them up all the time. I program them. I get to see more what goes on the front end, like machine purchasing and getting to put input on that, like tooling packages and things of that nature. So my role here, it covers a lot. For
Exciting.
Sure. You never know what each day is going to bring.
Right? Because I like variety too. I don't know about you, but like if things get stagnant, then I get bored. So variety for me is good.
Absolutely. That's one of the things that I love most about Cast Precision is I get the opportunity. Some days I'm working on mills, some days I'm on lathes, some days I'm on Swiss. Like I like that variety as well.
So do you have a preference though?
I'm getting more back in the milling department the last month or so, and I'm realizing how much I kind of missed milling over turning. They both have their joys and they both have pains, but I like milling. I like when my part's more still than spinning. I
Yeah.
guess I'll spin more.
Maybe a little less chaos.
Yep. Don't got to worry about run out.
What kind of new equipment excites you the most?
So recently we actually purchased an index, 8-spindle, multi-spindle index machine, and that's got to be some of the top line technology out in the field today, I would imagine. It's insane the production that can come out of one of those machines. I mean, we got a part we're running it right now that's got 90 dimensions on it out of 303 stainless, and we're dropping parts in 17 seconds. Like,
Wow.
it's insane to see how fast it can. And that's really, if you want to get into the fine detail and enjoy really taking every possible second out of a cycle time to make it efficient, that is the machine for you. I have never had the joy of programming or doing anything with 5-axis milling, which I'm excited because that talk is growing here.
Oh, good.
And it's like we do have a chance at some point in the future to be putting some 5-axis machines on our floor and maybe even mill turns. And those two machines probably excite me the most right now. I would love to play around with programming some of those.
They're a hot commodity now. I am talking with more companies about multi-axis, mill turn, Swiss more today than ever before.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I just wrote something to someone that was about the amount and the surge that we've seen in the past few months on Swiss and the amount of posts that are needed. And it is just, it's insane.
It is, especially for the Swiss machines. It happened many years ago now, but you could just see all the work. All of a sudden, everything that was coming across my desk for quoting on print, it's like, this is a Swiss part. This is a Swiss part. This is a Swiss part, over and over and over. It's like, yep, we're definitely going to need to put more of those on our floor. And then we were getting into a lot of the twin spindle, twin turret once you start getting to the little bit bigger diameters that get out of that Swiss world.
Yeah, probably a little more stressful than your 3-axis lathe or your 3-axis mill.
It can be some days.
Let's play a fun game, shop, hack, or overkill. I'll throw out a scenario and you tell me if it's genius or way too much. All right, the first one, spending days making the perfect fixture.
I think that is genius because that is going to save you headaches down the road. If you cut corners on your work holding, you're only going to be bringing in new problems and issues and variables that you're going to need to figure out along the way. So the better, more rigid your fixture and work holding is, the better off you're going to be in the long run.
I agree. I actually talked to a company a couple weeks ago that manufactures their own work holding. So it's specified to exactly what they need.
Yep, we do a lot of that in our in-house as well too.
That's cool.
We will get guidance from outsources and input here and there. And what have you seen anything like this? What do you have? And for the most part, we usually try to do most of our own stuff in-house. I feel like that's what makes us a little more versatile.
Yeah, that's cool though that you guys can do that. Next one, reprogramming just to shave off 2 seconds.
Well, little variables there. I mean, if you're making 5 parts and you're trying to save 2 seconds, probably not worth it. But now if this is a mass production and you've got lots of hours of runtime, then 2 seconds, like I said, you go back to the index machine, 2 seconds makes a world of difference when your cycle time's only 17 seconds.
Yeah, it does. That's a good point.
Yes, I would say one way or the other, it's worth it in the long run if you have large volumes you're running, I think.
Yeah, I would agree with you. The next one, zip ties holding coolant line.
I say I've never liked coolant lines. They always get in the way and chips hang on them very nicely and all that. So I'm not opposed to it. I wouldn't call zip ties a hack because I do it. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do, right? But or just through coolant, direct coolant to your holders, that's what you got to try to get to.
I think that every machinist or operator has zip ties and duct tape somewhere.
You're not a machinist if you don't.
And the last one, meditation before each shift.
I will say 100% worth it. I do it every single morning before I
Oh,
go
yeah?
to work. Every single morning. I make sure it's at minimum 10 minutes, somewhere between 10 minutes, 30 minutes. And that's just so I can have some time to myself, quiet my mind before I come into the day where it's person after person and like I'm on the go a lot. So I definitely need to quiet my mind before I come to work.
I hear you. My fiance asks why I vacuum so much. And I think it's because it drowns out all the noise.
That white noise, then you can start thinking.
Yeah. I'm either vacuuming or humming just to like shut my brain down for a little while.
Yep. Everybody's got their own forms of meditation.
All right. You said money shouldn't be the only driver in manufacturing. What else really matters in the trade?
Well, as you mentioned before, culture, I think culture is one of the biggest focuses that people should have. I mean, money is important, obviously. You got to make a living, you got to support yourself, your family, and all that. But at a certain point, it's the people around you that make going to work every day worth it, in my opinion.
What do you think separates good culture from not so good culture?
The best shops I've been in, people respect each other. They treat each other the same. It doesn't matter if you're the forklift driver or if you're the engineer. We all have our part in that job or that shop to get parts out the door, and everybody's working on the same team. The more you share information, the easier it is for parts to move along. The more people can learn and grow. And to me, that's kind of the point.
I agree. And, give credit where credit is due. And I try to do that with my team too. Like our support team is fantastic. And I couldn't do anything that I do without them. People wouldn't want to be our customer if they didn't have the support team. They might not care if I'm their salesperson, but the support team is critical. So I love that outlook that everybody is so important to making everything just run smoothly. What kind of leadership works best on the shop floor?
Good leadership, probably the ones that don't just bark out orders, that they're willing to jump in and help when things are getting hard. Probably the leaders that I'd respect the most in my journey in the manufacturing industry would be the ones that communicate more clearly. Not just this is what we're changing, but like why are we changing that way? Leaders that actually back their personnel, like when things are hard and where we make mistakes out on the floor, it happens. It's part of the industry. But if you know that your boss or your superior has your back, you're going to give them your best every single time.
I do think that makes a difference, right? So that's definitely something that I think differentiates.
Yeah, I mean, the leaders that can spot the potential in people are big things too. A lot of times guys out there, they're shy to learn new things and do stuff as this technology keeps blowing up faster and faster. The guys that have been in the industry for a long time, the newer technology, sometimes it's harder for them to pick up on, but they might be too scared. I've had guys on the floor, they're like, oh, I don't know about that. I don't want to run that one. That one scares me. And I get them over there and just kind of slowly integrate them into it. And then the next thing you know, like, I don't ever want to go back to that other machine anymore. It's like, it's good.
Yeah.
Give them an opportunity to grow.
I think that communication is so hard, right? Because I don't think it's natural necessarily to communicate how leaders need to communicate. And especially with chats and texting and all of these short form communication, email, everything, right? Like it's so easy for tone to be misconstrued. So learning how to communicate as a leader is such a challenge because you have to stop, think about what you want to say, and then how to say it while getting your message across, but not sounding like you're trying to put someone down, right? Regardless of if that's your motivation, you have to think how someone else is going to hear and read that.
100%. Everybody kind of communicates different. Everybody's perspectives are different. And so I don't know, that's kind of where with the leadership and the communication of not just what, but why really helps people, I think, come along. And because that's what you need to do. You need to get everybody's buy-in. If everybody buys in, the team is going to operate way better.
Yeah, I totally agree. All right, now time for another fun segment. Would you rather shop floor edition? I'll give you two different scenarios and you tell me which is not the worst. Would you rather spend all day fixing chatter or all night fixing coolant leaks?
I'm going to have to go with chatter. I know I've dealt with a lot of it, but
Yeah.
I feel like you get a better sense of accomplishment when you do finish the task rather than just fixing a leak, and fixing a leak could be dirtier.
That's true. And it's
I'm scared to get dirty, but
all right. Would you rather train a new operator who won't take notes or argue with a machinist stuck in their way?
well, I'll pick argue with a machinist who's stuck in their ways, but I'd rather not argue with them. I'd rather communicate a little bit clearer and just see why they're so stuck in their way and try to get them to see a different perspective.
That goes along with what we were talking about too, right? Because I think a lot of people have different perspectives on a lot of things. And if leaders did spend more time listening, then they could learn something as well. Even if it's not going to be the ultimate solution, you're at least gaining knowledge about how that person thinks too.
Yep. And that's just giving other people the chance to grow. And when those people feel like they're trusted and their opinions are valued, it just makes them all the better employee.
Yeah, I agree. All right, one more. Would you rather work 6 months of the night shift again or sit through every safety meeting for a year?
Put me back on the night shift, please. I've sat through too many safety meetings, and I know safety is number one importance.
Oh, that's funny.
You go into a safety meeting in the afternoon and you start work early. Sometimes it's hard to keep your eyes open.
I hear you. So how do you balance efficiency projects and keep people engaged?
I think that's the same thing. We go right back to that communication. It's so important. You got to be engaged with the operators on there. You need the operators' feedback 100%. They're the ones that are in the trenches every day dealing with it. They're going to have some valuable input how to make things more efficient, whether it's just watching the cycle run and say, hey, that looks like there's a little air time between these two tools or between these two cuts, or just measuring your parts outside of the machine. Like, is there a more efficient way to do these types of things? So I think just working as a team with the coworkers around you, whoever it happens to be, and just coming up with the best way as a team.
Have you had any like efficiency wins, like toolpath optimization or setup sheets or anything like that that really helps your team?
Actually, yeah, we did a spaghetti map, a visual spaghetti map, and we followed a guy around on a setup that ended when he would go and get all his own stuff for his setup. He would get his gauging, his tooling, his stock, like his work holding. He would go get it all, and it took him 4 hours to do this setup. And the next time the job came around, and when he ahead of time gathered everything for him, he did it in 45 minutes.
Wow.
So that was just a huge eye opener for everybody across the company. And that's when we started getting more into what we like to call our Kanban systems, where we start staging all of our jobs ahead of time with material, gauges, prints, tooling, work holding, and everything. And so that when it's ready to set up, they bring that box over the machine and we're ready to rock and roll.
That's really, reflection is huge in every industry, right? And just making sure that as times change, your efficiency stays positive. And
sometimes it's important to just have that out in front of you on paper. Like, we go with gut feelings a lot. We're just going to do it because we know it's going to improve. But when you can actually see, like you say, reflect back on here's where we were, here's where we are now on paper, you can show it to other people more, get everybody to buy in a little bit more that way when they actually really see those results.
A little more personal, when you're not at CAS, what's your favorite way to recharge? We learned a little bit that you do meditation, but what else?
I'm not good at it, but I do like playing on the guitar, and I can get lost real quick in that, just putting on some music and pulling up tabs and trying to figure it out. And I like doing that.
Well, not good at it could be subjective, because you're probably way better than I would ever be. I don't even know how to tune a guitar, so.
Okay. From my perspective, where I'm at and what I know people can do with a guitar, I'm not very good.
You can figure some of it out though, right?
Absolutely.
I imagine that's relaxing too, though.
Oh, it is for sure. And it's rewarding in the end too. When you can sync up and play the song along with it, it's fun.
But what's tougher, learning the guitar or learning cam?
For me, I would have to say guitar.
Good.
Muscle memory.
How do fitness and meditation help you balance out?
It goes back to just quieting that mind. Like you need to take time for yourself, especially in a world with all this, like you've said, the way we communicate with texts and emails and cell phones, and people have you right there at the tip of their fingers anytime they want you. Like they can shoot you a text, they can call you like instantly. So it's, to me, I've found over the past year of doing this daily now, it's important to spend time on yourself. You need to have your own time, your own space. And if you don't spend time to get your mind right, you're not going to be very helpful to the people around you.
I saw a funny meme the other day, and I'm a millennial. I'm not sure if you are, but it said millennials are at the stage where we're all reconsidering house phone lines. And just everybody getting rid of cell phones. We want our landlines.
I've actually quieted all my notifications on my phone because I don't need Instagram to tell me or Facebook to tell me somebody posted something. Nope.
I did. I turned them all off too. And my phone is always on silent. My cell phone is. I don't want to hear it.
Yep. I've done the same thing. Hopefully this doesn't get back to Cass, but I've turned off my work email to my phone too as of late. Just if I'm at work, then I'll answer my emails. It can wait till the morning when I get back in. If something's that bad, then I'll get a phone call.
Yeah, I think that's fair, right? It's okay to shut off and just enjoy life when you're not there. Well, this has been really fun, Chris. Thank you for joining me. Where can people connect with you or learn more about Cass?
You can learn more about Cass online on our website. Just look us up, Cass Precision Machining. I'm on LinkedIn. That's probably the easiest way. You'll be able to contact me through LinkedIn. Yep.
Good. And we can drop those in the show notes so that people can find you.
Cool.
All right. Well, that's it for today's episode of CNC Underground After Hours. Until next time, keep the coolant clean, the deadlines close. And remember, sometimes the best degree in this industry is experience.